All right, hello, rockers, rollers, and heavy metal maniacs. It's the Meista from Brews and Tunes. Cheers. I am absolutely thrilled today to be chatting with the one and only Clare Mairéad of Breaker. Um, how's it going, Claire? How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Got
Good.
out of work, get to chill out, have a nice conversation about music.
Very
And
good.
we have a show this weekend, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh,
So I'm
nice.
just going to chill tonight and then practice all day tomorrow. And then we should be golden for Sunday.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, let's talk about maybe we should start there. What's the show? Where are you playing?
So we're playing at a Kung Fu Necktie, which is
Hmm.
probably like to me, I guess that's like the big metal bar in Philly. Like anytime I've seen like a metal show that isn't like super duper underground, but not quite a stadium show, it'll be
Okay.
at Kung Fu Necktie. I guess that's the best way to put it.
Hmm.
So and I've seen a lot of bands there that I love. So it's really cool to like finally get the opportunity to play there.
Nice.
And we're opening for Tower, and
Oh,
Tower is a kick-ass new wave of traditional heavy metal band that I've loved for the past 2 years. And I'm really excited that we're finally going to be able to open for them too. So it'll be a really good time. It's on a Sunday, but hopefully a lot of people show up, and I'm just really excited that we get to play alongside them at a really cool venue. And then the other band, there's another band on the bill, Black Manta. They're from Maryland. I think they're pretty new. They have members from other bands, I believe. So I'm excited to go in to see them as well.
nice. Very cool. Oh, that'll be great. That'll be a great show. So yeah, so everybody watching, if you're in the Philly area, there's a killer show Sunday night right there for you. Um, very cool. Oh, I wish I could go. That sounds great. That sounds like a lot of fun. Well, yeah, let's talk about this wonderful EP, Breaker, self-titled. So I know it was originally released digitally in last year, I believe in July of last year, and then Heaven and Hell Records released it on CD earlier this summer in June, late June, early July. And I have to tell you, I love this album. I love this EP. It's fantastic. Six track EP. Just kicks ass. I love that it's very traditional heavy metal, hard rock, very American hard rock. It's got that really, kind of early 80s, late 70s vibe to it. A little, tinges of Judas Priest and then I love your vocals. I mean, that's one of the big selling points, I think. And well, I mean, the whole album is great, and I think the band is fantastic. I think you guys are doing some really cool stuff. And I love that there's this resurgence of, because I'm an old guy, it's this resurgence of the music I listened to in high school. And it's brilliant. I think you just nailed it. And I can't wait for a full album, which I'm hoping is maybe in the future, near future.
It works. We got songs. We just got to get them recorded
Oh,
and
nice.
figure out the best way of going about it.
Okay.
Because the EP we recorded that ourselves like over a couple of weeks, and it was so DIY. Like it was Ben had like, I'm terrible at naming equipment. I mean, this is also the first thing I ever recorded. So like I didn't even
Really?
really know what I was doing.
Wow.
But like he just brought like his stuff to our tiny practice space, and one day like we'd record vocals for one song. Tegan would be working on his guitar parts at home and sending the tracks. Like it was all just kind of put together ourselves, even the album cover. And then we finally had it, and we're like, okay, we'll post about it on Instagram and try and get the word out. And that was a really cool experience. And I'm really glad Heaven and Hell picked it up a year later, and especially with the mastering, because
Mm.
that was another thing. Like we did press them on CD. We were selling like our own CDs on Bandcamp and stuff, but we didn't have it like whenever you put it on, it wasn't super loud.
Gotcha.
And now it's amazing how just getting it remastered can bring out parts of it that you couldn't hear originally.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really awesome. I'm really thankful that they picked it up for us. Um, and it's definitely made it how it's kind of supposed to sound.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, it sounds great. I think it's a really well balanced album. It's really bright. It's powerful. It's one of those albums you just crank up. And it's also one of those albums, one of those EPs that, I mean, as soon as it finishes, the sixth song, you want more. I'd put it on repeat because it's just like it just wow. It just hits all the feels. It's for lack of a better term, it's just it's so good. It's so heavy and powerful. I love your vocals. I hate to do the comparison thing, but they're a little bit reminiscent of, there's maybe a little bit of Betty Bitch in there, or Betsy Bitch, from the band Bitch, but even a little more powerful than hers, which yeah, I love your vocal delivery. And coupled with the guitar work, it's really nice. Um, I was curious, like, kind of tell me, how did this band come together? What was the impetus of this band?
Oh man. So I've always wanted to be in a band, like a rock star. Like when I was a kid, like that was what I did for fun. Like I would watch my dad's VHS tapes of like, I mean, Queen was like the thing. Like seeing Queen play Live Aid when I was like 8, I saw that and I was like, I want to do that. And also like when I was a kid, I loved like sure, like a little kid, I would only watch like exclusively Shirley Temple and like anything musical. I know. So it started with that, and then I needed like an outlet to do like, performance and stuff. And I'm the oldest of 5 kids. And, my parents were working class, poor family in Philadelphia. So a lot of the like rock programs, or like I couldn't do the school band, it was too expensive. I couldn't, join School of Rock or whatever, it was too expensive. But there was a theater group, around the corner that was like a couple bucks to like go and do that. So I stuck with a musical theater all the way through college. And, I kind of just learned like that was like my safety. I get to do this. And then, I come home and, listen to music or whatever. Because I was never totally interested in like music theory or anything per se. It was always just like the expressiveness, I just loved music. So I went to college for musical theater, which was a great experience. I don't regret it. I learned a lot. It was super fun. And I got to play a bunch of fun roles and do cool things. And then I graduated, was auditioning for a bunch of things. And like this was the through line in theater for me was I was being inauthentic because like most of the roles that were available in theater, you got to be blonde, you got to be this, you got to be that. And I maybe had the voice for it or I had the acting for it, but I wasn't really a believable whatever I was trying to do. And I had to ask myself, like, why am I not just going for the things that like I really want to do? And that's, well, you're not cool enough. You were bullied. Metalhead guys are going to laugh at you, which, like all my metalhead guy friends, I learned quickly from them that this is a boys club and I ain't part of it, which is bullshit. And I could go on and on about that forever. But, at one point I was like, well, I could join like a cover band or something, like just for kicks. Like I really wanted to join a Kiss cover band. So cool. I went on Craigslist and I found an ad for a band that was trying to sound like Kiss, Wasp, Ozzy, like Iron Maiden, all the stuff that I really loved. I was like, holy shit. And it was like only 20 minutes away to audition. So I sent in a video of me doing like, what was it? Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny Cash at an open mic, which was also the first time I'd ever just sung by myself with a band.
Really?
Because, I was just like, I was trying to find, like, just push myself to do stuff like that. So I ended up auditioning for Breaker, and I brought Tegan, our former guitarist, with me, and we jammed, and then we jammed again, and then we kind of became like a we were a cover band. Like we practiced the same set of like 10, 15 covers from us like a whole year. Then we started playing shows, and then Ben brought in some of his original stuff. And at first I didn't really think there would be much going on with the original stuff, solely because like the Philly scene and like you know, the shows that I've been to, local bands, it's mostly, you know, like death metal, black metal, that type of stuff. And I was like, oh, are we like, we can do this, but like, are we gonna get anywhere with it?
Yeah.
But we just had fun, you know, writing the EP, recording it, doing all that. And then you know, through putting it out there and networking and seeing other bands and you know, realizing that there is a spot for us, that's kind of how we were able to you know, grow more confidence, get more shows, and release this EP that I'm surprised people not that's negative. I'm surprised people really like it, but like I'm very happy that people really like it, you know.
Yeah.
At first I didn't think there was much of a spot for us, you know. I didn't think a lot of people were doing this traditional glammy, you know, old school heavy metal thing, but there's plenty of bands doing it, and it's awesome.
Yeah, there seems
So
to
yeah,
be a
that was a
resurgence.
long-winded answer.
No, that was great. That was fantastic. Yeah. No, I agree. And yeah, it seems like there's been a big resurgence in that style of music. I mean, a lot of, and I, you know, it's partly driven by old guys like me that grew up during that time, but I think there's also a lot of young people that are really getting into it, which is great. And I love that. I love that that we're seeing like young bands, you know, like Breaker and multiple others like playing that old, you know, traditional metal style that, you know, from the late 70s and early 80s. It's really cool to see that. Um, yeah, I love it. I think it's great. I think that's cool. Yeah. So did you come from a musical family? Like, were you always, I mean, you mentioned, you know, as a kid, you know, watching Shirley Temple and things like that. And did that, you know, was that kind of in your DNA?
I suppose, but there's nobody that I can point to in my family that does music. Like my parents are music appreciators, and
Okay.
I grew up with like an eclectic music taste. Like I grew up with a lot of Irish rebel songs. My dad was like partially a metalhead, but he also loved Oasis and the Cranberries.
Okay.
My mom is all Michael Jackson, all Madonna, Whitney Houston, but also like Motown and R&B.
Nice.
So I just, that's what I gravitated to, and I thought was the coolest thing in the world. So that's also hard, like picking like what do I want to sing or what do I want to do, because I love all of it, but I always gravitated more towards like, you know, Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Kiss, because I feel like it marries the, you know, theatrics and like over the top things that I love about artists with like, you know, really kick-ass music.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine that your you know, your training, your education in the musical arts and, you know, theater arts, you know, that, you know, because you have I mean, I haven't seen you live apart from YouTube, and you have a really strong stage presence. And I would imagine a lot of that is coming from, you know, your personality for one, but also just from your background, you know, as a theater actress. Because yeah, you like everything I've seen, yeah, you have this huge presence on stage, which is really cool to see. And that's what, you know, you know, I've always been attracted to that, you know, that kind of, you know, like you said, like Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Queen, you know, that the front man with a huge presence. Yeah, it became such a, you know, especially in the 90s with the grunge music and everything, that became so frowned upon, and it's cool to see it back, you know, and stronger than ever. So sorry, that was not a question. That was just me
I
rambling
agree.
on.
Like I've always want like even like with my taste in theater artists, like Liza Minnelli, like she's the greatest thing in the world. And some people see her and are like, oh, it's over the top, it's cheesy. I see that and think it's brilliant because she's putting everything on stage.
Yeah.
Like everything she's got, even if it doesn't land, like she did that. And I mean, with my theater training, I know the basics. I know to, look at the audience. If I see somebody with a phone, try to find a way to make them not be on their phone, stuff like that. But really, I mean, at least like, I've only been doing this for 2 years now, almost. It's just fun. And it's an opportunity to like do the things I've always wanted to do. And like, it's just liberating and like, it's a good time. And, I'm glad people like it.
It's amazing that it's only been 2 years because I mean, you guys, I think the band, you guys gel so well together and it's so professional. It's such a professional sound. I mean, it sounds like if I didn't know that, I would assume you guys have been together for years. Because it seems very like you guys have really honed your skill. And like I said, I mean, it seems like you guys really gel well together.
It's also helpful that like Ben, who is a fantastic, amazing drummer, all the drums on the EP are him. He's also a fantastic guitarist. There's some guitar parts on there that are him. And now that we have 2 guitars, he's on rhythm. He's been in a plethora of bands, like since, the 80s. Same thing with Steve, our bass player. He has all this experience. Tegan had a ton of experience because he's also like, like me, a little bit younger and like still finding his footing and stuff. But like they all had years and years of experience with this type of thing. And I have years and years of experience with singing, but like the recording, I mean, that was like kind of wild.
Yeah.
Like, man, it's so weird to hear your own voice. With theater, you don't have to do that. You just do it and it's done. And whatever the audience heard, you don't have to keep looking at it or hearing it again. But it's nice. It's given me some things to think about as far as like interesting vocal melodies and yada, yada, yada. Cool. I'm excited to get back into the studio.
Nice.
Maybe a studio. Who knows?
Yeah. Especially you got a record deal or, I mean, at least a release with a record company. And yeah, maybe that'll open some doors. And yeah, that'd be cool. Do you guys have a plan, like maybe it's too early at this point. Maybe I'm jumping the gun here, but do you have a kind of a target date to get back into the studio and start recording?
So like we did, I mean, the plan was to get, because our full length will be like at least 10 songs, maybe 12. Like we have the songs, cool. But like, we want to take into consideration the feedback that we've gotten from our EP that we did DIY. And a lot of the feedback is the production is a little bit, I mean, I like the charm of the production. Like, I think it being like a little bit more gritty and stuff serves it well, but it would be nice to get into some, like have an outside person, mixing it and helping us with the recording of it.
Yeah.
But we want to start, because we also, thank God, very grateful. We got a lot of gigs too, since, people have heard the EP and stuff. So that's been a little bit difficult prioritizing our time because like we're getting ready for gigs and everything. But ideally before the end of the year, we'll have at least 2 singles or something to put out there. And then, maybe get into the studio in December, January, one of those times. But, we're enjoying, playing the gigs and continuing to, get our face out there, and it'll come.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, you guys definitely have the talent. It will definitely come, I think. Yeah, you're doing some really cool stuff. So as far as the songwriting goes, so it sounds like well, I guess before Tegan, now Ben, it sounds like Ben does a lot of the songwriting. Does it, are you writing the lyrics or kind of what's the process?
The lyrics.
Okay.
So for specifically the EP, there were a lot of songs that Ben had already had and brought forward, and I would add parts to it or maybe like reshape certain things. But it's also awesome that like a lot of Ben's writing really resonates with me personally, and with the band as a whole. So like it's been a really cool partnership, seeing the lyrics that he's writing and how I can like add my own thing to it. For our upcoming stuff, I have some songs that like I've written the lyrics for. Usually like Google Drive is our best friend. Like they'll just post like a riff idea, or sometimes like a full composition, and we'll kind of like tinker with it for a few weeks.
Hmm.
So it's been really nice. And also it helps that all of us kind of have different backgrounds or different interests, and like because we all love heavy metal, but there's like the different parts of heavy metal that we like. And
Yeah.
I think that's like my favorite thing about the band is we can have a song that sounds more like a Wasp tune, or a Dawkins song, and also have this like punchy Iron Maiden, Judas Priest type ballad. So I'm hoping we can continue to have that contrast as we continue writing.
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a really good point. I think, I mentioned earlier, I think it's a really well-rounded EP, and that's part of it. I think you nailed that on the head. There's all these elements that, and you're not emulating, you're not imitating, but you can hear the influence, which is cool. With very original music, but yeah, there's definitely little influences of, even a little speed metal in there, a little Omen maybe, and yeah, a lot of cool, like I said, Priest and Dokken, and yeah, it's great. It's great stuff. I love it. Um, I just forgot the question I was going to ask you. I did want to ask you, and maybe this is silly, but or maybe not necessarily silly, but I mean, but I'm very curious about this. I read that you worked on a Sesame Street project.
Yes, my first acting gig when I was 16. So Sesame Place, when you grow up in Philly or like the surrounding areas, that is a big hub for young actors. And they make you go through this rigorous audition process where you learn these dances, you learn these songs, and so I initially got hired at Sesame Place thinking that I was not going to be in a costume, that I was going to be an actor in one of the shows going on at the park, which I ended up getting hired for, which was cool. But I ended up being in an Elmo costume every single day.
Oh, wow.
And no, that job was kind of crazy, because there's no fans in those costumes. You have to do full-fledged karaoke and karaoke, miming the song. You have to do full dancing choreography in 102-degree heat in a fursuit. But it was awesome, like it was kind of like summer camp. Everyone who worked there was like 16. You would go out for like a half hour and take pictures with people, and then they would cut the line, assuming that these parents would know that like, hey, there's a human being in that costume. But you'd be surprised. Parents would flip their shit whenever they were told Elmo had to go take a rest. I saw a lot. I learned a lot. But
Yeah,
that was
that is a weird. Like Disneyland and any of those, anywhere where there's the costumed characters, and like I guess it's the I don't know. Yeah, like you said, like the parents, like they don't seem to understand like that. Yeah, that's a human being. That's a person. I've seen the same thing in Disneyland with my kids used to my ex-wife is Greek, and my kids used to, when they were young, they used to dance in Disneyland, do like Greek traditional folk dancing in Disneyland. And yeah, so I went there a lot, and it was so weird to see like grown ass adults like freaking out and not getting that, like, yeah, that's a dude in a suit. Like that's not
likely a teenager.
Like that's a, it's just
Yeah.
weird. It's a weird, it's strange. I mean,
You see
yeah,
the worst of the worst working at those theme parks, like,
yeah.
and also like you're in a costume and you can't talk, but I would see like, parents with their kids on the leashes, parents
Oh,
like
yeah.
screaming at their kids in front of me, and I'm like, let's pose for
Yeah.
the picture.
Like, don't scream in front of Elmo. Like,
But I remember I was very excited about that job and then very quickly realized like, oh,
yeah,
I'm just making $10 an hour to, put on the Elmo costume.
that's it. Oh God, that's a travesty.
Yeah, but it was a job.
Yeah. Probably a good learning experience. Like,
Worse jobs have been had, I suppose.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's funny. Yeah, there should be
Very.
like a. It'd be cool if there was like a metal Elmo version. Yeah,
They
like,
had because they had these like throughout the park, they would play these like parody Sesame Street songs.
oh
And
really?
there was sometimes we would have to do kids' birthday parties. And Elmo had a whole dance to the Beatles' Baby You Can Drive My Car, but it was Elmo You Can Drive My Car. That was my favorite. That's the closest I got to being metal Elmo.
Nice, nice. That's funny. Oh, that's hysterical. That's great. I love it. That's very cool. And probably again, like helpful in terms of performance and and why you're able, because there's that I'm always amazed. I love music. I'm not a musician. I just love I think I'm like your parents where I'm just a music enthusiast, metal enthusiast. And but the idea of getting on stage and sing like that makes me nauseous. Like, so I have a lot of respect for people that can get up in front of hundreds, if not thousands of people. Like that seems horrifying to me. Is there a, and I've heard this from other musicians, is it euphoric for you? Is it like getting in front of an audience? Do you like feed off of that?
Hmm. Yes, I feed off of it if I do. I enjoy because I think of it from think of all the concerts you've gone to and you get to see and you're like mesmerized by the performance.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I want to know what that feels like. Because like, it's rewarding, makes me feel good and it's just fun. Like I wish I had a more profound way of saying it, but it's like I need to do it. Like I don't feel like I'm normal anywhere else.
Oh, interesting.
So when I'm doing that, I'm like kind of at peace. And that's not to say I don't get friggin' nervous and freak out right before I go on. But as the set progresses and then the show ends, it's like, oh, I wish that never ended.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
Cool.
but yeah, no, it's like I innately want to do that,
Very
which
cool.
is weird. Yeah, I
Are
guess.
there, I don't think it's weird at all. I mean, it horrifies me, but I think it's brilliant. I think that's incredible. Are there any specific shows thus far? I know it's been a short period of time, a couple of years. Are there any specific shows that really stand out for you as like kind of really profound or like big aha moments for you?
Yeah, so it was one of our latest shows. We played at TVI in New York, and we got asked to open for Savage Master.
Oh, cool.
Um, yeah, no, one of my favorite bands. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
was
they're great.
completely start. That's also the hard part is like when you love and respect a band so much, and then you're playing with them, so you are their equal, but it's like you're still so giddy and excited
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
That's been the biggest thing for me is like trying to like calm down and be like, just be normal. But no, that show was incredibly rewarding, not only because like I got to see Stacy and Adam in the crowd, two people that like I really look up to and respect. But also like it was packed room, people that like were coming up to me and just like, saying really nice things. And I got to meet a lot of like, like-minded people. And that was just it was super cool. The people the singer and a couple of the members of Sanhedrin were there. and like they came up and talked to me, and I didn't even think they would be at the show, so that was super cool. And like even like you know, these people, a lot of the people in the audience probably had never heard of us or knew of us or anything, but I could see by like maybe like the third chorus they were singing along or like putting their horns up, and that's all I could ever ask for is like, wow, like they get it, they're into it, like I'm making these people smile, you know, they're feeling something for it, and that's amazing. Because you know, again, like being such a big music person, like, and like look, like my biggest idols are, you know, front people, like I want to it's a like, you know, everybody wants to feel that connection that you feel with your favorite artists. And
Yeah.
you know, that was a magical night, like I can't get over it. And yeah, just like little things, like if like when people come up and say like thank you to me after the show, it's like my instant reaction is like, thank you, you bought a ticket, like why are you here? But it's like they're like, no, thank you, I really appreciated that. Or if we do the last show we did, it was at a really nice theater, but it was like a random night, like local band show, so there wasn't like a ton of people there. But we did Crazy Nights by Loudness as like our opener.
Nice.
And there were a couple of people that came up and they're like, I haven't heard that song in like 20 years. Thank you so much. And it's like, wow, like they get it. That's really freaking cool. Like I'm glad that we could make their night in some type of way, you know?
Oh, that's cool. Well, it's yeah, it's like it's the I love that metal and hard rock music and music in general, but you know, it can be a catalyst to connect people. I think that's pretty cool. You know, it was different ideas and different views and beliefs and whatever, but there's that, and especially the metal community, I think, you know, that kind of connection. There's still some work to be done. I think you know, you mentioned that earlier in the interview, the I mean, it's still a male dominant genre, but it's changing, which I think is good in a lot of ways, and especially with bands like yours. Yeah, it's cool to see that, you know, but yeah, that warms my heart that yeah, people are coming up and thinking that's great. That's cool. Yeah, you guys are you're definitely on your way for sure. Yeah, I can't wait to see where Breaker goes. Oh, I did want to ask you, uh, Breaker, the and I don't want to put words in your mouth or anything. I was curious if the idea for the name did that. Well, I'll let you. I have a feeling where it came from. Yes.
And
Awesome.
Well, no, it was like it was so Spinal Tap-ish. It's like, what should our band name be? Nightbreaker, Demon Breaker. And I was like, what about Breaker? And it's like Google. Oh, there's already a band called Breaker. What if we added 2 Ks as a nod to Dokken? Oh, and it could kind of be like that Accept album. Boom, perfect.
Nice.
But it is kind of tough because you know, we weren't really thinking about these things, but if you look up Breaker, it's just going to be this WWE wrestler, and there's other bands named Breaker, but you know, we have 2 Ks. That's all.
Yeah, it is. It does have a very Dokken look to it, which is cool. So I didn't even think about that. I was thinking more of like, the Accept album. Yeah, I mean, that immediately when I first heard the band name, I'm like, oh, cool, Breaker. That's one of my favorite albums. So I'm like, oh, right on, very cool. I dig that. So yeah, and like you said, there, I mean, there's some Dokken elements to your music, and this album cover, I love this album cover. By the way,
The Oath, Kiss, or Violence and Force.
It's got that, and then it's also got a little bit of there's almost what's the oh, my brain is not Warlock. There's kind of that, yes, with the sparks and the but
it's total 80s. It's total like we're pulling the switch on the breaker.
Yeah, it's cool. Are those your hands? I'm assuming
those are my hands, and we got that little. We were trying to like picture it in our heads, and that's exactly what we were picturing. But me and Tegan went to an antique store and we found a little switch, like an antique
Oh,
switch.
right.
And then, you know, he put it on a board, and then we did like a little photo shoot with an old camera. And like, oh, that was it. That was funny too. We're looking through like 50 of the same picture of my hands. Like, oh, we got to get it perfect.
Yeah, which one? Which is the right one?
But yeah, it came out perfect. That was super fun.
Yeah, and it's like
much better than AI.
Oh,
Can't
yeah.
stand when people use AI for album covers right now, or merch, or really anything. Don't use AI.
Yeah, fuck AI. God, I hate it. Yeah, it's awful.
Really
it's awful. Yeah, there's I won't name them, but there's a brewery here in Utah, and all of their labels now, all their beer labels are AI, and it's like, seriously? I mean, there's hundreds of amazing artists here.
Hundreds of thousands. Like Breaker, because like that's also one of my favorite things with this band is like I have so many friends who do art, and like you know, that aren't going to ask me for like, you know, $1 million. Like they just want to do it. And I even like a stick figure is much better than whatever AI crap you can generate in 5 seconds. But we have a new merch line coming out with like a t-shirt and like stickers. And it was drawn by Ben, his daughter. She's 16. And she made this really awesome design. And like, you know, there's no excuse. You can find somebody to make your art.
Yeah.
It's much more meaningful.
Yeah. Agreed.
I digress.
No, I think that's brilliant. I think that's great. Clare, this has been absolutely fantastic talking to you. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate your time. Is there, apart from the upcoming show on Sunday, do you have any other shows coming up that you would like to mention?
Yeah, we're playing our we have another show in Philly before we go. We're playing with Adamantis. They're a band, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, but they're like an awesome power metal band from Massachusetts. I'm very excited that we'll be playing alongside them at Ortlieb's in Philly. And then we're flying out to Wisconsin for our first festival. We're playing Blades of Steel on the second day.
Right.
The headliner is Satan.
Nice.
And there's actually Crypt Sermon's also on it, and Mercifex. I hope I'm pronouncing that right too. They just changed their name. They used to be called Traitor, but they're like this amazing traditional Philly band that I really dig. So it's going to be a great day. There's so many amazing up and coming bands that I've been wanting to see on the 3 days of this festival. So I'm really looking forward to that. Hopefully people can come out and support.
Yeah. So the Blades of Steel, that is Wisconsin. What were the dates?
It's August 28th through the 30th. We're playing on the 29th.
Oh, excellent. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. So those of you watching, if you can get to that show, get to that show. And also for those of you watching, check out the links below for Breaker. If you don't own this, go buy it right fucking now. It kills. It's fantastic. I love it. I can't stop listening to it. Fantastic album. Clare, thank you so much. This has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. This was awesome. I hope you have a lovely rest of your night.
You as well. You as well.